Do you have solo economic dependency? That is, if you aren't working, you aren't making money. The Art of Passive Income podcast is the solution. Discover passive income models so you can enjoy life on your own terms. Let freedom ring.
Hey, it's Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek, with your favorite niche real estate website, www.thelandgeek.com. And I'm really excited for today's guest because he's just so great. He is a land geeker and now an author. I'm just so excited. But I'd be remiss if I didn't properly introduce my co-host. You know him. You love him. The professor, the brain, the flight school, Land Geek Sherpa, Scott Todd from scotttodd.net, landmodo.com, postingdomination.com/the Land Geek, and now a new program. It's the Netflix of everything digital that you'd want to learn in your life. Scott Todd, tell us about your newest and latest and greatest invention.
Oh man, it is heavy lifting. It is investorninjas.com. Investorninjas.com. Go there. There's a lot of cool things. One, as Mark said, it is we're working to make this the Netflix model for your training, really your soft skills. Our guest today, who I'm really excited to have, he's dead on with something he told me before the show, which is really about a lack of knowledge. There's not a lack of knowledge out there. What it comes down to is maybe a lack of some of the soft skills, and that's really where Investor Ninjas comes in, is to help you focus on some of those soft skills that you need. So go check it out. You can join us for free, investorninjas.com/free. It's a great community there for all of the real estate investors out there. Help me spread the word. I want real estate investors. I want a boatload of them. I want people just like you to make the world a better place.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really excited. We can all agree knowledge is power. And to go to one platform, one trusted platform, that's phenomenal. So check out investorninjas.com. Today's podcast is sponsored by Flight School. So you don't want to go up that Land Geek mountain all alone. Have that Sherpa, Scott Todd. He's done over 200 deals leading you up. You can do it live over 3 days, or you can do it virtually with him over 14 weeks. Schedule a call with the Zen Master Mike Zano or the Nightcap Meister Scott Bossman. Just go to thelandgeek.com/training. Today's guest is a former Land Geek client, Victor Reynolds. If you don't know about Victor, he is just a phenomenal guy, former athlete, and now I guess he's kind of like a cross between if Tony Robbins and say Kevin Durant had like a love child, you'd have Victor D. Reynolds with his latest book, Get Off the Bench. Victor Reynolds, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I also appreciate that introduction. That was actually pretty good.
So, Victor, we were talking before the podcast about your powerful why. Why write the book, Get Off the Bench?
Well, Mark, I've since doing land investing, I've met a lot of other land geekers, and I've also told others about the land investing model. I've also branched out a bit to help myself sell a little bit more land. And when I've done that, I ran to a lot of people who are looking to make money online in various ways. Now, they always say, I don't have money to do this. I don't know if I can do that. And I get it. But the information to do all the things that we need to do, to make money, be it investing in land or drop shipping or affiliate marketing or what have you, is all out there. You can easily purchase it, or if you're really resourceful enough, you can put it together for free. But the reason why people don't succeed is not because they don't know what to do, is they don't have the belief that they can do it. They don't have the confidence or the mindset or the habits that you need to daily take action. Mark, one of your favorite words is Kaizen, right? A lot of people don't have that ability to take those small, continuous steps. And that's what the book is all about.
Scott Todd, I know your next question, but go ahead.
What's my next question?
Which is, well, how do you take somebody with that doubt, with that fear, with that uncertainty, and get them off the freaking bench?
Well, that's a good question. I wasn't going to go there yet, but I think it's a good question. I was going to say like that is that is definitely a key part is the mindset issue, right? Like it's if people can get out of their own way and just like shut that little voice in their head up, man, it is amazing what you can do. The problem is that the problem is that we don't have a lot of self-confidence because we've never been pushed to think and to go, right? So like everybody is taught, go get a job, go get a college degree, or go get a job and stay there for the rest of your life. And like when people do it, yeah, I've seen so many people go down that path. They get to the end of their life, you know, they've got like 5 years to retirement, and guess what? The company comes in and says, you're not needed anymore. They had 5 years to go, man. What the heck? And that's not fair. And so all of a sudden, everything, you just see the cracks in the whole thing. And then it's the fact is that you accepted the wrong story. And so I'd like to know now how Victor can move you off the bench.
It's a great question.
How do we get off the bench? And I'll tell you what, in high school, I was that kid on the bench. I was like a scrub on my high school basketball team. And I desperately wanted to get off the bench.
I've been both the scrub and the starter, so I get it. And in the book, I kind of talk about that a bit because of my athletic background. I do bring in some of that to help bridge the gap. But in reality, what anybody needs is the confidence to go forward. And how do you get confidence? Well, that's the $1 million question. In reality, all it is experience and integrity. There's no other way to really build confidence because what happens oftentimes is what Scott kind of alluded to is basically society tells us how to live our life. And for the most part, we don't question it, especially since that information doesn't necessarily come from some mountain upon high. It's from our friends, our family, people who actually love us and want us to do well. However, because they were never able to accomplish their dreams and do the things they want to do, they make sure, be it intentionally or unintentionally, that you won't be able to accomplish your dreams either. So they tell you things, not out of fear, not out of anger, but more out of fear instead of anger, to make sure that, hey, I was hurt trying to do something against the grain, and I don't want you to have that same pain. So what I talk about in the book is, first off, to understand how to get that confidence, you have to understand what is actually holding you back. So I go through different things of the different mindsets that we have developed, that and the mindset we have about money in general. And then once we understand that groundwork and how we learn things, like you may not understand this, but between the age of 0 and 18 is we form 95% of our hardcore programming in our mind. So basically, anytime something happens in our life after the age of 18, a lot of that, your responses are kind of pre-programmed just from your upbringing. And we all know as kids, we don't necessarily make the smartest decisions or do the right thing. So we're basing a lot of that, our adult decisions, on things we've done or things that happened to us as children. So once we break that down, we can understand that, okay, there is a way to reprogram that. Once that happens, then you can start to implement the different things that you need to do to build confidence. So one of the things that I alluded to earlier is Kaizen, the continuous improvement. But to do that, you have to set little easy things that you can accomplish every day. And when you do that with the proper mindset, the confidence starts to build. Also, that integrity builds because you're saying, hey, I'm going to get something done today. It doesn't have to be something grand or major. It could be something as minor as I said I was going to send out an email to my email list, or I was going to make sure I call my mother today because I said I would. And you get that done. And that feels good because you're a person of your word at that moment. And as you build on that, the confidence comes to do other things. And once you're confident, you can start to make these other bigger goals happen, because hopefully as you're working towards it, let's use land investing, for example, you're getting, 100 offer letters out a day, so to speak. And as you do that every day, you're like, it's not that bad. I'm starting to get a routine. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. And it's hard to not build confidence and the ability to think, hey, if I can do this, why can't I get on the phone once I get some of these offers back and talk to these prospects and close them on a lower price, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps going down the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm curious about some of your actionable mind hacks. Can you give us an example of some of these actionable mind hacks that can really help us sort of break through any of these doubts, fears, uncertainties so that we can start taking massive action and moving in our lives?
Yeah, my personal favorite, because there's two ways what happens oftentimes in life when things happen, we create a story around it of why this happened. And, maybe in some portion of your life, that's okay to kind of get you through a potentially tough time. But in my personal opinion, those experiences are usually negative, and sure, they can help you to start to create the different mindset you need to move forward. But personally, I like to work out, lifting weights. There's been nothing more transformational for me to watch my body transform. Now, most of you people in podcast land can't see. I'm a tall, skinny kid. Kevin Durant, that description is very accurate. If you don't know who Kevin Durant is, look him up, look up his physique. He is not winning a Mr. Universe contest anytime soon. However, it doesn't take much for your confidence to grow watching yourself lift more heavier weights. I'm not saying it's got to be the heaviest weights, but as you see yourself start to lift a little bit stronger, a little bit easier, it's hard to not feel better about yourself and what you can do. You can also, what I found out to be really insightful, especially if you're not into doing anything physical, which you really can't succeed if you don't do anything physical. Your mind and your body and your soul are all connected. When I just set time to read a little bit every day, I'm not talking about hours and hours and hours, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read every day, the information and knowledge that you will receive from reading kind of changes how you view like your business or yourself, depending on what you're reading. That consistency truly helps you what you're doing. Those are my two big ones, but I go into detail in the book why they're important. Not just you should just do it, but why you should do it as well.
Scott Todd.
You guys can't hear me, can you? There you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unwrap there. I mean, like in what he said, like one of the things that sticks out to me that Victor said was the fact that, you've got to add small successes, right? Like everybody's looking to get up to bat and hit a home run. Like we all want these home runs in our days. And at the end of the day, there's not too many days in your life that are really made up of home runs, right? Like there's not a lot of home runs in your life. Like there are certain days where it's like, man, that was a boom. That was one for the memory books. But most days are going to be just like normal days. And so if you're trying to build your business and you're trying to think like, oh man, I didn't get a home run today. The day was terrible. Well, that's not realistic. What is realistic is, and Victor said this, is I'm gonna get one, like I'm gonna record, and I did this for a very long time. I still do it. Record your successes for the day. And even if it seems like a stupid little thing, just make notes of where you are. Leave yourself breadcrumbs, because when you look back, all of a sudden the world will change and you're like, holy cow, I didn't see the changing here. But the world can, in fact, and does change over time if you're consistent. One of the things that I struggled with early on in my business was I struggled with getting that buyer's list email out every week, right? Like I just felt like slimy, sleazy, that email marketer that we all don't like. There's people are going to see my name again. They're going to go hit the unsubscribe button, or they're going to like delete my message, or they're not reading my stuff. So you start to have these internal conversations with yourself that are none of which are probably the reality. And so what? People are going to unsubscribe. Who cares? The thing is if you show up every day, and Mark and Victor, one of the things that it took me a mindset shift to go do was, I would know that I'd have to send this email out, and I would dread it. Okay, like, oh man, I'd hate putting it together. And then there was a mindset shift, and this is really what it is. It's a mindset shift to say, you know what? I owe it to everyone on this list who's given me their email address so that they can learn more about land. I owe it to them to show up and bring them the best deal I have, right? I owe it to them. Now, all of a sudden, it's not about me. It's about service to mankind. Mm-hmm. And that sounds nutty, But if you can start to shift, one little shift, not on you, but on the people that you're serving, now you need to show up. They need to hear you. They need you to solve their problems. They need you in their life. And guess what? If they don't need you in their life, it's okay. You've served your purpose. They will unsubscribe, and it's like they have now found their next path. And that's all we're here to do, is let me help serve you. And then if you want to unsubscribe, it's okay. But I'm going to show up. And I think that little mindset shift, and that's what Victor talked about. It doesn't have to be these home runs. It needs to be these small little, just get on base one time. Just hit a single, man. Just hit lots of singles. And eventually you're going to hit the home runs. And next thing you know, you're going to hit 2 home runs in a day. And that's just how success builds on each other.
The compound effect. That's very true. And one more thing, Scott Todd. I mean, I know you were in the financial sector before you got into land investing, but like, I think you can agree that a lot of people, as I mentioned before, they do have a real big issue with money itself. And that's why it's tough for people to feel like they need to sell or write that email or basically put money out there, because they have a weird relationship with money because of how we treat money like it's some kind of mythical being. It's just a tool to get things done. And when you shift your mindset to one of service, that I'm using this to help myself, my family, and those who come to me with win-win deals, things change. The universe reacts differently to you. People react differently to you. And then again, now you're acting with consistency and integrity. And that confidence starts to build, and that business acumen starts to build. And as you look at more things, you're like, how else can I learn to serve people? Well, I need to learn email marketing. I need to learn how to write good ad copy. I need to learn how to close on the phone. Because once you do those things properly, you are truly serving people. Because how dare you, as you said, Todd, keep your awesome land deals away from someone who needs that land at a price that they can afford? How dare you do that? But when you have the wrong mindset, and the wrong mindset about yourself and your value and the value you bring, and about money and what people may or may not think of money, you're going to stop yourself from doing the great things that you were put on this earth to do. So I'm right with you, Todd. That was beautifully said, man.
Mark, if you ever want to see a room freak out, maybe you should do this next boot camp. Like, take $100 bill out of your pocket and just tear it up and watch people freak out because of what like Victor just said. It. We treat money like it's gold, like it's up on a pedestal, and literally, like I don't want to lose money like anybody else, right? But like, when you can get to the point where you're like, that's $100, it's okay, I'll get more. It sounds nutty, but like at some point in time, you're like, I'm not going to go chase that down. It is what it is. I'm going to keep moving on. Then, like, you have broken the bond with money when you're like, I'm not going to fight that. Where before you'd be like, I need that $100, or I need that $20 back. You shortchanged me 6 cents at the grocery store. You're too in love with it.
It's so true. And, we could do a whole podcast just on people's dysfunctional money mindsets. But that being said, I'd like to ask Victor, what's some of the worst advice you see given in the area of, trying to build an online business?
That's a good question. The worst advice that people do, they tell people to buy. Well, I wouldn't call it's bad when it's done at the improper time. So as I said earlier, all the information we can ever want about how to basically do anything is on the internet. And the better information is that you pay for it. And so I guess the worst advice is people thinking that while it is possible to find information for free, to get the complete accurate picture, trying to do that for free, like jumping around, sacrificing your time to find information that you can easily pay for quickly and you can start to implement and invest right away. So people thinking, basically other people who also don't have any success online or elsewhere, oh yeah, you don't have to pay for that. That's a waste of money. You shouldn't pay for that. You should just, find it for free on somebody's blog or something. And again, technically you can do that, but the amount of time you spend on that and the amount of holes in your knowledge that you're going to have and the lack of access to a community that's also going through the same content, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And then I'll add to that. Another thing that is bad advice is basically any advice from someone who hasn't done the thing that you're trying to do successfully. Because we take advice from people who don't know what the heck they're talking about. And again, a lot of that time is from like Uncle Joe or, you know, our brother or somebody that we love, and they do care for us. But, you know, I don't take fitness advice from a fat person. I don't care how many books they've read or who told them what, right? I take advice from people like, oh, if you've done this before, I would love to listen to your opinion. To someone else, like, unless you've done it, I don't really care. And so that kind of goes with the same, like, hey, try to find everything for free online. You can do it quickly. You can do it on your own. It's not true. No man's an island. Yeah, no,
I couldn't agree more. And it always kind of breaks my heart when I get that email from somebody that says, hey, I'd love to do flight school, but I can't afford it, right? And I always want to email back. I never do it, but I always just say, you know, you can't afford not to do it. Mm-hmm. like if you can't afford it, like where's your money going? Like, is there a better investment than yourself?
Never.
Like, how else are you ever going to be able to afford anything if you can't afford to invest in yourself and make that investment?
Exactly.
It's like heartbreaking, but
I mean, if not now, when you gonna have the money? You don't have it now. So what's going to change in your life that if it's not flight school, that's going to give you the skill and the business acumen to actually earn that money so you can buy or invest in yourself in other ways. A lot of people, they always see it as a cost up front, but they don't think about the long-term investment of what it's going to return. Like, okay, sure, if a program costs $10,000, that's a little expensive. Okay, great. But what if that same program will guarantee that you get $10,000 a month for the rest of your life? Would that $10,000 a month be worth it? What would you have to do to get that extra money to pay for that? Right? Instead of asking, or saying I can't afford it, the question is, how can I afford it? What can I do to make this happen? Is this that important to me? Or am I so addicted to my struggles and my comfort zone that I don't really want to change? I just want to sound like I want to change because it sounds noble.
Yeah. Scott Todd?
It's funny because I remember I went through a program once, and I think that maybe this kind of builds on people's experiences too, right? Because our experiences build on these things. And so I went through a program where I learned from a guy who was a developer, a real estate developer, on like what it takes to really develop a property, like take the land and convert it into something else, something that's at a higher usage. And, you know, if you're going to go be a developer, there's a lot of work to be a developer, right? Like you talk about like land is like simple and easy. You want to be a developer. Oh boy, you got a lot of work to do. Okay. There's a lot to do there. And so I went through this program. It was a very good program, very good. And then, you know, part of this program is like, you have to go find a property. You have to find the development. You have to find the use case for it. And I did all that stuff. And you get to the end of the program and he's like, okay, well, our term is over, but yet you still have to grow because it's more than 6 months to take a project through. And you get to the end of it and you're like, yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can go do that, or I don't know if I really want to go do that. You get to the end, and a lot of times, even though you invested a lot of money into the program, you still have to take action. If it's a change that you really want to make, you have to like swallow your fear and do the very next step. And I think that's where a lot of times people fall down, is on that very next step. Okay, mm-hmm. They do what they're supposed to, but then they got to do one more step to keep going. And they're like, I'm afraid. And that being afraid is what stops many people from achieving whatever they want. That just, I'm afraid. And I think that you can just admit that one thing, I'm afraid, and then now you can step forward.
Agreed. That's why people like me exist, because I will be that person to help nudge you in that right direction, or sometimes take you hand in hand, be like, look, we're going to take this step together. Now, I only could do that for so far. I can't take you on your own journey, but that is what like the Landgate community is all about, helping each other get past that fear and taking that step. Someone gets fired up at, boot camp in San Antonio or Florida or in Arizona, and they're fired up for the first 2 days, and then when they come back home and they get back to reality, that fear comes back. That's when they need to start to tap into people like myself, like Mark, like Scott, like the whole Landgate community on Facebook to get them past that. And again, a lot of people don't want to admit that they're afraid, for various reasons. But I mean, we're human. I get it. Anything new is difficult. Anything new is hard, and it's out of our comfort zone. So it's going to take a bit. But, people learn to lean on those who have done it, those who are there to support you, those who care about your success.
No, it's true. I mean, I even hire coaches just to get things done because I know left to my own devices, I'll get distracted. It's not like I don't have the knowledge how to do it. It's that if I don't have a coach, setting that time aside with me to make sure and have the accountability that I'll execute, and I don't have any skin in the game, I just won't do it. Like, I got a big life. I got 3 kids. I got a couple companies. Like, I just won't. I just know myself. So it's like, all right, like let's set aside this time with this coach to get her done and get it done right and have that extra set of eyes. I mean, there's so many advantages to having that coach, there, not just to motivate you, but hold you accountable, maybe making a little adjustment here and there that can make all the difference. So Victor, here's a question for you.
Go for it.
What makes a great coach? I know you had a lot of coaches.
I did.
Who was your favorite coach and why? So what makes that person a great coach to you?
Okay. So I've had 2 with you, right? Chris Pritchard,
right,
and Tate, good old Tate.
Right.
Tate might have been my favorite coach. And I've had others after him that was land investing. And I actually, there's probably a coach I didn't like, to be honest, because of all the experience they've given me and the knowledge. And basically, they really do shortcut that learning curve. So first, your first question, what makes a good coach? In the book, I have like 13 criteria of what I personally find useful. One is, obviously they have to have done the thing that you're trying to do. They don't have to be world class at it, but they just got to be better than you are, and they can show you what to do. 2, they hold you accountable. So, they help you figure out, hey, what's the next steps, and then make sure that you do it. 3, they're approachable and pretty much doesn't have to be 24/7, but if you have that confidence that when you need them, they'll be there for you, it goes a long way. It's like having a tightrope artist having that net underneath. They may not need the net, but knowing that it's underneath them makes them feel a lot better and a lot more confident going forward. Sometimes I had this as a bonus, but if they have their own, I guess, digital course, that can help sometimes because you can get to understand things without having to, on your own time at your own speed. That's, again, a bonus. It's not necessary, but I think it's pretty cool. What else? Because there's 13 points of them. Those are my biggest ones right there, though. The accountability, making sure they're there, and that they've done what you're looking to do. And my favorite coach was Tate because he's done all those things. He understood where I was. He met me where I was. So he didn't try to coach me as if I was somebody else. He understood who I was as a person. He understood what my needs were, what my goals were, and we made a plan together. It wasn't just him lecturing me. We were working as a team, even though I definitely trusted in his expertise and I trusted in his knowledge to help me get to where I wanted to go because, Tate lives a good life. He rides his little bicycle in the heat of the desert. He makes good money. He's very laid back. I know everybody who's listening to this podcast know who Tate is. If you don't know Tate, you better ask somebody. He's hot in the streets. But he's a good coach because of those reasons, because he helped me be the best me I can be. He didn't help me become Tate or anybody else.
All right. I love it. Well, Victor, your mentorship has been great this podcast, but now we're going to put you on the spot one more time, extract one last bit of wisdom, your tip of the week, a website, a resource, a book, something actionable where the Art of Passive Income listeners can go improve their businesses, improve their lives. What have you got?
Well, obviously, I'm going to pitch my own book. It's called Get Off the Bench, The Secret Success Playbook to Maximizing Your Internet Business from the Coach You've Always Needed. You can get it right now on Amazon. Paperback version is $14.99, but I currently have the Kindle version for 99 cents. I'm just asking that people check it out, look at it, enjoy it. I put my heart, soul into this book, and hopefully that comes through in the text. And let's see, another resource. I'm gonna be kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but it's a little on the nose as well. Google. Again, all the information you need is out there. It is there. It is searchable. You can find it. And coming from me to you, podcast listener, I believe that you can do this. Whatever that you're trying to do, I believe you can do it. You already have the ability. You may not have all the knowledge, but you have enough to take that first step. So any technical knowledge you may need, Google will show you the way. But if you need more than that, check out my book. It will definitely help you, inspire you.
Awesome. Scott Todd, what's your tip of the week?
Mark, I'd like to just kind of reiterate something I said. Okay, like I don't know if people picked up on this or not, and I'm kind of pulling a Mike Zano where I can just quote myself here. So I'm just going to go ahead and quote myself again. But look, I want you to think about. I want you to take some time, and this is not going to take a lot of time, but I want you to write down on a piece of paper, like literally write down on a piece of paper. In your business, who are you serving and why? Like write that down. Who are you serving and why? And you're not serving your family. You're serving people that need land, or you're serving people that need what you're selling. Whatever you're selling, people need it, okay? And if you truly believe that they need it, then you have a responsibility and a fiduciary responsibility, a fiduciary duty to serve that market and to show up every single day to solve their problem. Remember, they may not know who you are when they wake up today, but it's your job. You are on a mission to serve that person or that type of person. And when you take that in, you won't apologize. You won't apologize for your marketing. You won't apologize for your sales. You will show up and you will make the world a better place from your heart, and not just from the concerns about your pocketbook. The pocketbook will follow the heart, okay? So go do that. Write out on a piece of paper who you're serving and why, and then show up every single day. You owe it to them.
Yeah, I really like that. Now, only amendment I might make on that, Scott, is that do they need it or do they want it? Because what we need, like we don't really need a whole lot to survive. But 99.9% of the things we have in our life is what we want. And people want an asset that lasts forever. People want to feel like they have a place to maybe bug out to. People want the idea of something that's idyllic for their family to go out and have that clean, fresh air, unplug. People like the idea of having 40 acres that it just makes them feel good, and go to their banker and say, hey, look, my net worth just went up because I own this 40 acres. So yeah, I mean, does anybody need raw land? Probably not. But if you look at your life, again, 99.9% of what we have, we don't need. I could live on beans and rice, right? But,
well,
I
always say
there's no way I want to live on beans and rice.
I always say that people buy things that they feel that they need to solve some problem, real or perceived.
Right.
So, whether they need it or they want it, you don't buy something unless you actually feel like it's going to solve some problem for you. Go solve their problem.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so my tip of the week is get yourself a damn coach. Go to VictorDReynolds.com, get off the bench, get motivated, get accountable, and learn more there. And I have a link to the website, VictorDReynolds.com. And look, he's been well trained, been through the Land Geek coaching program. So
Trained by the best.
There you go. Anyways, Victor, are we good?
I think we're good. I appreciate your time, and everybody. I just want to let you guys know, Mark is the godfather of land. Without him, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I truly appreciate him, who he's been to me, what he has done for me and my family. I really can't express like who he's been in my life. So if you guys are under like his tutelage right now, cherish every moment of it. Every word he said is worth his weight in gold, even though words don't really weigh much physically, but you get what I'm saying. But I'm just, you guys are learning from the best right now. So as you guys are listening to this, soak up his words, write them down, take a picture, save it on your computer, whatever, because this man, he gives his heart every single time. And if you listen to his words and you take it in, it will definitely enrich your life financially and in other ways as well.
Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate those sentiments. I really do. That's, it's why I wake up every day is to try to make that impact. And I really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I also want to just remind the listeners that the only way we're going to get the quality guests like a Victor D. Reynolds from VictorDReynolds.com is if you do the 3 things. You got to subscribe, you got to rate, you got to review the podcast. Send us a screenshot of that review to support@thelandgeek.com. We're going to send you for free the $97 passive income launch kit. All right, guys, you know what's coming up. We doing this?
We are.
1, 2, 3. Let freedom ring. Victor's like, oh man, it's way easier in person at boot camp, isn't it?
Yeah. This is a little different. It was very forced, but we were all at the same time, just very slow.
It's very slow. It's very tough. By the way, Victor, I think you owe me some money because I believe that we may have bet the Golden State. You said they were going to have a gentleman's sweep every round. They went 6 with the Clippers. They went 6 with the Rockets. There's no gentleman's sweep. And now that Durant is out, are they going to go 7 with the Blazers? I still think they'll win that series.
No, I don't think it'll go 7. I do expect them to go 5, but it's probably going to be 6 every other game. But damn, I was hoping you forgot about that.
That's all right. I don't even know what we bet, but I remember you saying that.
I'm going to fly out to Scottsdale and buy you lunch. How's that?
Fair. All right. Fair enough. All right. If Milwaukee sees them in the finals, are you scared?
No.
Toronto?
Oh, even worse. Oh, hell no.
Okay. All right. For all of you NBA fans out there, you know what we're talking about. If you're not an NBA fan, then you probably don't, and that's okay. All right. So
you guys need to do less basketball and more working. Now get to work. Go serve your people.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everybody needs you guys. They need you guys, so go be there for them.
Absolutely. All right. Kaizen, let freedom ring. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Art of Passive Income podcast. Start your journey at www.thelandgate.com and www.scotttodd.net. Rate and review the podcast and email support@thelandgeek.com. Your screenshot for a free passive income launch kit.